All right. Let's go on to our next topic then. It is my topic, and it is specifically about the World of Warcraft trailer and movie that is coming out. I recently. Okay, so it just came out. For those of you who don't know World of Warcraft,
It's not the World of Warcraft. First of all, it's not a World of Warcraft movie. It's a Warcraft movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're one and the same, aren't they?
No.
No.
None of that
the
is
trailer?
in World of Warcraft.
But it is, because you go back in plenty of World of Warcraft instances and relive Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 1 stuff.
Well,
I don't think I ever
Warcraft.
do Warcraft 1 stuff.
Yeah, because the World of Warcraft.
There's references to the characters in the movie.
There is,
Right.
yeah. I mean,
Okay, it's fair to just
they
say
have
Warcraft, because Warcraft encompasses the RTS and the world.
the king.
Right?
Right. It's just fair to say Warcraft. Yes.
There's no
Okay.
panda dudes in this.
Sorry, it's just so... Yeah. Okay, so Warcraft movie.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
With the universe that encompasses Warcraft. It's with orcs, and it's your traditional like fantasy kind of
High fantasy.
medieval kind of style. You have the humans, you have the orcs. They don't really like each other. There's elves, there's alien kind of races. There's all this other stuff. If you've seen Lord of the Rings, if you've seen like any other high fantasy type movie, you'll be familiar with the races and stuff like that. It just so happens though that this is a game, or based around a game. One in particular is World of Warcraft, which had like at its peak 16 million daily active users, and has been like made through like tons of different like books, and South Park and other TV shows have made fun of it and called it out. Celebrities have endorsed it and talked about it. And what it basically is that you go on, you pick one of those races that you like, you pick a class, which is to say, how do I want to interact with the world? Do I want to be a warrior who wears like mail? Do I want to be a rogue who can stealth? Do I want to be a mage who learns like different types of powers? And then you proceed to play this game 24/7, 365 days a year, and you spend like 6 months just trying to get to the end of the game. And then when you get to the end of the game, you spend another year interacting with the end game stuff, like going with your friends and into dungeons and trying to like kill other like NPCs. So it's
Sounds
crazy.
horrible, but listening to all that, I want to play it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's nuts. It's like people have met their wives on this. People have lost their wives through this. Like it's incredible.
Yes.
So they're making a movie about it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the trailer. The trailer just got released, and I'll let you guys talk about it, but I have my own thoughts.
Okay, let's go ahead, Steve-O.
I don't like it at all because it just orcs and humans don't like each other. Period. I mean, they're making the orcs kind of too human-like, I'm thinking, and they're also it looks like they're kind of like throwing a love story in there between an orc and a human.
Yeah,
And
that looks
it's like, and I was like, what is going on? What are they doing with this? And it just it doesn't. It looks like they're completely. I mean, is M. Night Shyamalan making this?
Is
Does
it
it look? It doesn't look like it has anything to do with it really, other than like the city and the king, and I don't know. I would like to hear more about what our viewers would think and like typing in it. Maybe they know more, but like I don't like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they released it at BlizzCon or something like that. Yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if people like booed after they saw it. I don't know. Like, I don't know what happened, but
They definitely didn't boo.
Did boo.
There are people who are just crazy fanatic fanboys who will love anything Blizzard puts out and defend it to death, regardless of any flaws.
I mean, I love World of Warcraft, but that movie, I was really hoping for this movie to like be good. Like thought I was going to see Taurens in it, but looks like no other race is really going to be in it. Did you see any other race between orcs and humans?
In Warcraft,
yeah, there was like there was
in Warcraft, that's all they had.
In Warcraft, they didn't have those though.
Yeah, they
regular Warcraft. Okay, so we're not talking about the World of Warcraft.
No, yeah,
that's what I'm saying. This is about Warcraft 1. I forget the name of the actual game. It has like a subtitle.
Yeah, there was a subtitle to it because I played it way back in the day.
I don't know if I ever played that one, but yes.
Yeah,
I tried. It's bad. Well, I mean,
you can only select one unit at a time.
Yeah,
it's
really dated.
Yeah, but and like they had the flying griffin guys, they had dragons, but there was only orcs and humans, and that was it.
That's exactly what it was called. It was Warcraft orcs versus humans.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Humans,
yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's the thing is like I think a lot of people don't know that. They think when they see this, they think World of Warcraft which has very established kind of look and like lore, and people, even though they haven't played it, they kind of know what it is because they've had either significant others or friends playing it, so they've been affected by it. I told Yukiko, she was like, "Oh, this is the World of Warcraft movie," and I said the same thing, and she was like, "Wait, there's other Warcraft games?" Like she didn't even know that was like a thing. So I think there's lots of people that are going to be the same way.
Yeah.
I had no idea that this was actually a franchise other than World of Warcraft.
Interesting.
All right. Well, now that I know that, I kind of feel a little bit better about the movie. But I still don't think the whole love story thing is gonna work, though. Like, because
We don't even know for sure if there's a love story.
Yeah.
Looked like it.
That's fine. My issue.
He was
My
in a
issue-
jail cell with the same AIDS cure. I mean, the cancer cure.
Yeah. She was the cure for cancer.
Yeah, so we just won't find out about that until the movie comes out.
My issue with the movie is the style looks cheap and cheesy. I think they're trying to go for a video game feel, and they bring the style of the game to the big screen. And the style of the game, like what's coming off, what they're doing, it seems like, is that the armor looks really pristine. The skin looks pretty, like, almost, I don't want to say cell shaded, but you can see like where a movie like Lord of the Rings, where there's a lot of grit, there's like cuts, there's like, if it looks like skin, this is taken like a shade of like the cartoon style and trying to apply it. And so what happens is it comes off as cheap CGI, and it has this just weird vibe and feel to it. I was dissecting it a little bit. I was looking at the stills, and like it's just interesting, like the bricks in the background, like they come to a perfect like center, like there's like they really tried to bring the game into the movie, and I think that was the wrong direction, because like I said, it comes off cheap. Like it feels like a Chronicles of Narnia, or like a cheap high fantasy movie, as opposed to a high-end blockbuster like Lord of the Rings kind of. Because that's the other thing too, is like I think Lord of the Rings had a lot of practical effects with CGI, which was a great melding of the two. This looks just too CGI heavy, and I think it's gonna fail in terms of style and like visuals because of it.
Which sucks, because then they won't make an actual World of Warcraft movie, probably. They won't go along with that.
See, and I'm kind of taking it, I guess, as a different approach. I mean, I Warcraft and everything. I played the originals. I played a little bit of World of Warcraft, but I'm taking it more of as an entertaining movie, not like as a big blockbuster. So I think it'll be entertaining. I think it'll be decent, and I get how it does look kind of cartoonish, like with the CGI and everything. But I think it'll probably be an entertaining movie. The whole love thing. Go ahead.
So that was my next point I was going to go into, is about entertainment. Like, what do you find? Like, that's the other problem. I didn't through that trailer, I didn't see anything I cared about. There was no identification of a villain or like an antagonist. Like the protagonists were like shady. Like,
Yeah.
the nothing about that plot that was presented to me got me interested. I saw that there was like some evil.
Would
orcs
you
and
prefer that over? I mean, would you prefer it being black and white versus having the shades of gray, though?
No, I think I do want shades of gray, except I want them to be a little bit like and I'm not asking for the whole plot of the movie to be spelled out. It's just maybe what I'm trying to get at is that the stuff that I saw from the movie made me disinterested. There was nothing like
To pull you in.
Here's the call to action, right? Like that's all you really need from a trailer is like, look, this is the call to action, and then this is like maybe what they're going to be dealing with or something like that, perhaps. And like they kind of said that. You see this like, okay, we have a baby, and there's this like hunting going on for the baby, so she's going to like put the baby upstream. That's obviously Thrall.
Like Moses.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Jesus, there's a lot of iconic. Anyway, and then you have the humans and orcs not trusting each other. Do you trust them? Like, okay, and then we got to band together to fight these other orcs, and like, I don't know if I'm interested in a movie about two different races having problems because they're different, and then having to band together, or a small group of them, despite the opposition, and then go against these orcs. Like, I don't know if that's interesting to me. That doesn't necessarily sound like I want to watch a movie about it. I don't know. I just don't.
No. I agree.
Yeah, I'd like to see a trailer that has more story-driven element to it, just to see.
Right.
Because
Like
I
Illidan.
agree.
The Burning Crusade.
It was somber, wasn't it? Because like everybody was talking like, "Oh,
Yeah.
do you trust them? I don't know. Just do it." It wasn't like there was no scenes where people were like in their face yelling about the conflict, where you're like, "Oh shit!" Like, I care about that guy's point of view, or like, "Oh man, how's that?" Like, There was just
Well-
nothing that drawn me into.
Yeah.
Well, weren't they
conflict.
doing a little bit of conflict? Like you're siding with the humans. Like why would you? It was
Right.
like an orc versus orc. There was kind of like that a little bit, but
Yeah, but that's
yeah,
what
there's branches. There's 2 branches in each side. There's humans. There's 2 human camps. One that doesn't want to be with the orcs. One that does. And then there's 2
same.
camps on the orcs. Orcs that want to be with humans, and orcs that don't want to be with humans.
Right.
So
Yeah, and it was just like why are you here? It's like because I'm here to save my people. And I was like, okay,
Okay.
It's
all right. Like it wasn't
was good.
like he was like arguing with them about like I need your help, like blah. And it's like, oh wow, okay, so a challenge is gonna be getting that guy to help him. It was like you don't like me, but I need help. And it was like, okay. And I was like, all right, well that was
Let's
easy.
do it.
He's fucking helping him. I'm seeing him help him. Like, okay, like there was just no. It didn't feel challenging. I guess I don't know.
So you think they just put the trailer poorly together? I mean, well, I guess we never.
Perhaps, yeah. That's what
Yeah.
Alan's saying. He wants to see a little bit more before he makes a judgment, and
Yeah.
I agree with him. But like, my biggest gripe and the thing that I'm not sold on, and I don't think I will be sold on because I've seen enough, is the CGI, the style moving forward.
the style is it's a little jarring for sure.
Right?
Yeah, I thought they were gonna go. I thought they were gonna go a little bit like kind of like Avatar.
That's what they keep saying.
I wish they would
it's
have
like
went that
Avatar.
way. I mean, it doesn't look like Avatar though.
Well, so the big problem between that comparison is that Avatar, once it becomes like they go into their avatars, it's all CG. This
Yeah,
is having to do
And
both.
they also took 5 years to make that one too. So
Yeah,
I don't know how long they've taken to make this one, but
5
like
months.
a couple years. I don't know.
I mean,
But that's the thing is like mixing. Whenever you have a reference point for something that looks real, then you can't like it doesn't mix yet. You know, like
Yeah.
there's just no way to kind of get them to look.
And then you have that uncanny valley feeling of it just being awkward, and that's my initial response when I see those stills and that stuff. Like I'm pretty like it looks like they have CGI armor.
On the humans.
It is so. It is CGI armor.
No, I don't know. I mean, it does.
But-
I think the problem is that the costume design on the humans looks too clean.
Exactly.
agree,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's too pristine.
Yeah.
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 So,
Should be
and I
practical.
believe that's because they're trying to get the style. If you look at the style of a human armor in World of Warcraft, it's clean. There's no. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, this is not a Call of Duty game, and I just think that's a mistake. I think they went the wrong way.
I see. I think a big issue is that the Hobbit movies were just out, and this has
Yeah.
a very similar color palette to the Hobbit movies. It looks very colorful and kind of like light is like diffused everywhere, so it's like very glowy looking.
Yeah.
So to the layperson that doesn't even know anything about Warcraft or World of Warcraft, they just kind of see like this other high fantasy, like
Almost like a knockoff.
Hobbit movie. Yeah, exactly.
But one that's probably not as good with a name that you somewhat
Well,
recognize. But
The Hobbit was sucked. So
Hobbit
Lord
was
of the
bad,
Rings
too.
was good.
I loved Hobbit, but
The Hobbit sucked balls.
yeah,
It was good.
even the Hobbit trailers had a fucking giant dragon blowing fire and like this huge vault with gold. Like it all, you know, that's the other thing. It also painted environments that you wanted to explore into. At least from my understanding with the Hobbit, because it still looked bad. But like, what did we see? We saw open fields. We saw a giant city, but I could barely tell anything from it. Like
Yeah.
lots of close-ups. Like there was also no environments that I was like, wow, I want to see what that looks like. I want to be. There was like the guy he goes up to the Citadel, but that was again really plain, really just like simple,
Yeah.
minimal. I just wasn't engaged in any of it.
Mhm.
Like there was no like giant vault mystery cave where I was like, oh, why is he in there? What's in there? What are they gonna find? Why is he?
Well, he did
Right.
jump off a cliff onto a griffin. Jeez, that's pretty.
Yeah, how many times? Yeah, that's their Avatar. That's
Yeah.
when they were like, we're gonna do it like Avatar because we have this one scene where they do it in every fucking movie that they have to have a flying animal.
Yeah.
Cool. I've seen
But
it a million
I
times.
mean, but that is in Warcraft.
Yeah, but the griffin is pretty cool too.
The Griffin is art. That is a thing that happens in Warcraft.
Yeah.
You
Sure.
have Griffin things
But-
that you ride.
Absolutely, but do we have to always jump off a cliff like that? It is so derivative and so
If you could do that in
overused.
World of Warcraft, you would do it.
No, what would be really
Yeah,
cool is
but
it-
as a movie, I would not do it because it's been used so often. I'd be like, this is
Yeah.
boring. People have seen this. That's another thing. Is like Alan, you were pointing to is like people have seen this movie. They've fucking seen Avatar.
Yeah.
They've seen like
Yeah.
what is it, John Carter? Dude, we've seen this movie.
Okay,
Right.
so
There's
back to the
nothing new.
griffin though. How cool would this be? Like the rider is on the ground about to be crushed by like a big ass orc or something like that, and then out of nowhere the griffin comes down, just
that happens
Oh, yeah,
in
that
Lord of the
did.
Rings and The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Like, all the time.
That's what he's talking about.
Like,
Yeah, man.
literally, that is like how they get saved in every fucking movie. Is the Griffins are here or the Eagles have come, and then they fucking save them and they like carry them off somewhere. Like that
Have you
literally happens in every fucking Hobbit / Lord of the Rings movie.
Have you seen the meme where they're on the Griffins and stuff like that, but they still walk for 3 freaking movies all the way to the thing? It's
I
like,
know,
Yeah.
that's what's
hop a ride.
It's like, could you guys just like drop me off at Mordor? Or
yeah, exactly. You guys came to the
And, like,
volcano.
I know. I'd like to see what the story of the Warcraft movie is.
Yeah.
Because yes, so far, I mean, I thought the trailer was kind of cool. I'm still not sold on the style either. I mean, it's kind of weird because I think it is a choice that they made to make it look like this. Like the art direction is totally a choice they made, and because these are the same guys that did do Avatar, and they did do like the new Star Wars, and they do like Planet of the Apes and everything. So it's like we know that they can do really convincing CGI stuff, and I think it must have been like a decision right from the get-go. Like this is what we want it to look like.
Did anybody from like Blizzard like have any like say so in the
Yeah,
directing?
I think they
like-
worked with them. They worked with him on it as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was just the wrong decision. I think it's like they tried, and I'm sure it took a lot of work, and I don't want to take any. Like, I am positive that people work their fucking ass off.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm sure they're proud, and they should be proud. But I'm going to the fundamental decision that I just think, in hindsight, it was the wrong decision, because I think what you were left with was something that wasn't as strong as if you went practical / CGI effects like Lord of the Rings. I think that would be much more engaging to see. Like you said, Alan. Plus, you have Hobbit being such high night colors and stuff like that. If they were to, Lord of the Rings has been out in a long time. Avatar is more recent, I believe, than Lord of the Rings. If they went back to that gritty fantasy look, they could have. I don't know. That's.
Yeah.
What's going to be really interesting is the movie theaters.
But are you guys still going to see it in theaters?
Oh yeah, I'm
Probably
gonna see it.
won't.
I'm gonna see
Probably
it.
won't unless I get more engaged. I don't know. I'm thinking about, like, dude, compare it with a Star Wars trailer. How many Star Wars movies have we saw? We even got burned on the last 3, but this trailer looks amazing because fucking Finn wakes up in a stormtrooper outfit with a crashed you're like, what? You have so many questions from that one image alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as a diehard World of Warcraft fan, I
You don't
have
have
no
any
questions about
questions?
that. I
Nothing.
don't care. There's nothing there that makes
That's
me
true.
wonder.
Well,
That's very true.
I mean, yes, I guess. I was going to say the fact that you do know World of Warcraft also means that you probably know what happens in general, but I wonder if somebody that's never seen it, like, would be intrigued. Like, when Yukiko watched it, we watched the trailer last night, she's like, okay, the music for the trailer was really good. She has the same reservations that you do about the style of CG and everything, but then she was like, like, it kind of looks interesting, like, from a story point, she said. So, I don't know. That's just one person that has no investment in Warcraft in any way. Their opinion so far.
Right.
Like I agree. I think everybody is kind of like on the fence about how good this movie is going to be.
Right.
They'll like it. However, I still think people will go see it because
It's got
Of what it is.
the name, and also they're intrigued to see what a big budget video game movie will be like. When you have basically all the elements to make it a good movie, you have a director that has a good couple movies, like a young director that's not like established really. You have a great visual effects team. The only thing is the actors in the movie are not like really big name actors. I think that's one issue with it.
You think that's an issue? That could be a good thing, though.
It could be a good thing, it could be against them, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
No,
so, like the star power is not going to drag them. It's definitely like they're
Right.
playing the name of the movie. Like it's Warcraft. Like that's why people are going to see it. It's not because like Michael Fassbender is in it or something. You know.
Can I read some of the comments people said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Some people are just like, 10 years of waiting, waiting fulfilled. Another person said, I keep throwing money at the screen, but nothing's happening. I stopped watching porn for this one, but why can't I stop fapping? Another person said, oh, cool, another Hobbit sequel.
Yeah.
He's like, I had to stop watching it. The CG's terrible. He says, I would like to see a Diablo movie. That's what they're saying.
Oh, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, childhood
I think-
dream fulfilled. Yeah, they're just a lot of people are saying they're on board with it, and some people are just hating it.
That's
Wow,
the thing. I think it's like
crap.
I think it's
It's
very
war
very
crap.
split down the middle.
Yeah.
Like,
And I don't think the CG's bad. I honestly think it's because of the direction they went. It makes the CG look. You know what I mean? It just it gives off the vibe that it's bad. Like I'm convinced that they did a lot of work to make those. Or it's just when cell shading first came out for video games, it just looked like shit. Like eventually we got to a point where cell shading was like it looked cool, I guess, or it was like it worked. I don't know.
Yeah, they're saying like
Maybe that
hopefully
doesn't
the
apply here,
CGI gets cleaned up before the release a lot more. That's what they're saying. Some people are saying.
Maybe it does. Alan, you work in the CGI business. Is that you think that there's a possibility for that gap to close between now and when the movie comes out, or you think they've kind of finished?
for it to look more polished.
Yeah.
The fact that the movie was supposed to come out in December this year, but moved because of Star Wars, means that they probably are done with everything, like CGI wise. Like I know people that have worked on it are done and dusted. Like they're finished with the movie. They're working on other projects now.
Yeah.
So I do kind of feel like that is what it looks like now. And I even though like some of the orc stuff looks really nice and the CG is good, like there are still some shots that are like really poorly integrated. Like they look like cutouts on CG backgrounds, like like the newer Star Wars movies, you know.
Yeah, like the backdrops and stuff. Just look, yeah.
So it just looks like another generic fantasy film. I don't see anything new or original here.
Yeah, and I'm not asking for the next new wave of but there's I don't know, man. Yeah, just give me an.
Well, the thing is,
story.
if you had original, like maybe put some characters in there that people would know. Like I was thinking, even if like what if they did like a funny freaking like ad lib in there, or it's like Leroy Jenkins or something like that. Just something.
It's not a World of Warcraft movie.
I know, but why did they make that movie? Why are they making this movie to start off the whole?
Because they're looking at
break
Marvel's
story.
universe, right? If this movie is successful, they get to do Warcraft 2, they get to do Warcraft 3, they get to do World of Warcraft expansion of Vanilla, World of Warcraft Burning Crusade, World of Warcraft Wrath of Lich King. They get to make a whole universe just like Marvel's doing.
But they're not going to be able to though, because this movie's going to bomb, and then they're just going to cut off the.
I don't think it's gonna bomb. I think you're way wrong thinking it's gonna bomb.
Okay, well, mark this day.
Okay.
Hey, what you know what the peak subscribers for World of Warcraft were?
16 mil.
So that's probably 16 million people right there that are gonna see the movie. If they played World of Warcraft.
I'm gonna go see it. So I'm actually gonna put money into it. But people are gonna say it sucks though.
That doesn't matter. There's lots of movies that suck but make shit tons of money. That is what the bottom line is for studios that make these movies.
Right.
And like they just care about what it made opening weekend and what it makes over its lifetime in the box office. They don't care if it wins fucking 20 Academy Awards and has like a Rotten Tomatoes score of 12. Okay.
Like, look how bad the Hobbit movies really were.
I love Hobbit. Shut up about the Hobbit movies.
Okay, well, there's people are gonna say like, Steve, I love World of Warcraft.
That's an example of a shitty movie that still made money and didn't bomb.
And made fucking 4 sequels out of one book. One book.
It should have been one movie for sure.
Yeah, and they strung it out, and the story suffered, and it was bad, and it was bad, and it was bad, but people kept going to see them. Which I was gonna say, if this one wasn't good, it wouldn't bomb. But if it wasn't good, it would be hard pressed to get a sequel. But even Chronicles of Narnia, I'm pretty sure finished out their fucking thing. Like,
they fucking have like 4 movies in that goddamn thing.
Yeah, so Warcraft's gonna keep going because they have a base that's gonna want to watch it, and that sucks because that's probably gonna mean that they're not gonna change anything.
What if? Did you guys play Warcraft 3?
Yeah. Yes, I did. Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. What if they did a movie for just those storylines? So like it was basically the hero of that movie is kind of like a Darth Vader movie where it starts off with Arthas as the prince of the humans, whatever, going out to stop the undead. And then when he gets Frostmourne, he gets the sword, it corrupts him, and he ends up killing all of his own people and then becoming like this evil character, like this Darth Vader character.
I would love that.
Does that, would that, if that had been made into a movie, would that have been more interesting?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because that's like.
And then think about that imagery of like Arthas walking up on screen and then just hands coming out, and he's just like, he whips out his sword and he's like ready to rock. Like, that's like holy crap. Like, I want to see what happens there.
Or like him having to burn everybody that's still human in that one city because they've been infected, but they don't know it yet. So he's like this really tragic figure because he knows that they're going to all turn, but nobody else knows that. So to them, it just looks like he's slaughtering everybody.
Dude, I can just hear a monologue of like the choices he's had to make and why people fall. Like, you know what I mean? Like all this stuff. And then you think about like, okay, high fantasy, like maybe they've touched on zombies, I guess, with Game of Thrones, but that's really not something we've seen a lot of.
Yeah.
Right.
And they could still integrate like the undead stuff. They could still integrate the orcs somehow because like that still is an element to his storyline, even though it's not the main part of his storyline.
Yeah.
And this is why they need to make a Diablo then.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the trailers to like Blizzard games look like even though they're like 2 minutes long or whatever, like they seem more intriguing than this trailer to this movie.
I agree with you there.
And they're all CG too, which is a big part, which helps like it all feel like the one melded kind of look to it. So it doesn't feel weird when you're looking at human actors and all of a sudden it switches to CG actors and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Your brain just doesn't make that transition well, right? Like you're just like weird. Yeah. Dude, Alan, that's an awesome idea. Like I want to see that.
I want to see that movie.
You know what I mean?
I don't know why they did start with the beginning of the series. I'm not really familiar with the characters, but maybe that's like the reason they thought they would get more people that play the games to go see it is because they're not familiar with the very first Warcraft. They're like lots of World of Warcraft fans, and they know that lore. So maybe
Also,
that was just maybe they're just like out of touch. They just didn't figure it out. I don't know.
What if like okay, so we have this human orc thing we've seen a bajillion times. What if they did also the night elf fight, the high elves night elf fight with the Tree of Ancients storyline, where the Legion they have to like so Illidan and Malfurion are the lead characters, and
I think one interesting thing about the Warcraft movie is that this is the first time in a high fantasy movie where the orcs have an actual civilization and we actually have main characters that are orcs, whereas in like Lord of the Rings and Hobbit and like high fantasy movies, orcs are instantly like cannon fodder for the screen. They're like the stormtroopers of every single movie. Like we don't actually hear them say anything other than like, oh, we need to eat meat or we need to kill the humans or something. So that is one thing that I think is better going for them, having like two sides that is like kind of more like I think more gray area, because it's like people associate having like orc people as like the bad guys, you know?
Yeah.
But on the flip side, because it's this we're a different race, we'll have conflict and we need to band together, it just feels like West Side Story. Like
it could be any. You could put that foil works for any people. But I'm just saying visually, there's never been movies where we see like the side of the orcs.
And okay, right. And what I'm saying is that is awesome and that is amazing. But because of the narrative, I actually think it doesn't make that as strong anymore. It cheapens that fact.
Yeah.
You know what would be cool for this movie is that in the end the orcs win and slaughter all the humans.
But we know that's not going to happen because of the games.
Yeah, I know. But it would be like a nice little twist. M. Night Shyamalan, right there.
He's not the director. Ooh, what a twist. All right, well, I feel like we could talk about this for a while, but we made some really, really interesting points, and that's cool. I got some insight on that.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll be monitoring it. Maybe we'll probably talk about this later when other trailers come out. When is it slated? Next year in the summer?
Like May or something, June or something like that.
Interesting. Cool. Blockbuster.
Summertime,
section. Yeah, it's okay. Cool. They have faith in it then.
Originally, it was going to come out a week after Star Wars, so.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great. It would have definitely bombed.
Yeah, then it would have bombed.
well, now they got to compete with
anything that's going to be after Star Wars is going to bomb.
Or that.
Now they have to compete with Marvel then, because that's when Civil War comes out, and that's
gives a shit, dude. Avengers movie. Like I was checked out after I saw that. Like I was just like, I don't give a fuck anymore. Even watching Ant-Man, I was like, holy shit! Like there are so many fucking random references. Like I don't know. Like that was the biggest problem I had with Ant-Man. Like I'm just watching the fucking movie, and I like kind of forget that it's like a superhero movie, and then they just like, oh, I should call the Avengers, ha ha ha. And I'm like, what? Like this doesn't really fit. Like what the story you're trying to tell, and then like all of a sudden the fucking guy with the wings comes out of nowhere, and
that
I was
felt
just like,
forced.
I was like,
really forced.
Well, I was like, they probably like couldn't afford to get Captain America in this movie, so they got his like sidekick, you know, like.
You're absolutely right, Chris.
I didn't call for Robin. I called for Batman.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It was like the action scenes were really fucking cool. I loved him like turning into a little dude. And then, the other thing I hated was that when he became little, they could have like explored awesome like sets and like scenes of like microscopic stuff. But then they make like a model of like a big building as a small building that he runs on. I'm like, well, he could have fucking done that if he was big, and and then like. They make him fight on a train. I was like, well, he could have fought on like a real train if he was real size. Like, what's the fuck's point
but
of doing
it was
this, like,
supposed
micro?
to be funny though. It was
That
supposed to
was
be
pretty funny.
It was
Like,
funny
I-
when it hits him. It's funny when it hits him and it just like rolls over. Okay, that was funny.
Yeah,
But like the action happening was just like I was like they could have done this on like a full size. Like why not do like more stuff where he's like running through the carpet, and you like see like this totally different perspective.
Yes.
Or, like when
Oh,
he's
yeah.
running in the what's it called, the bathtub when he first transforms. Like I was like, oh, this looks awesome. Like this is so cool looking. It feels like he's like this tiny speck like in this vast world now. But then they're just like everything feels like the scale was like fucked up when they just like scaled down things that are already big in real life,
Yeah, because the last time we've seen a perspective like that and a fantasy like that is like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, where they go
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
blades
exactly.
of grass are huge,
And that
it's
was
this
like
whole new
super
world.
cool.
Yeah,
It was really cool when they were riding the ant. Do you remember that scene where they're riding the ant and they have a little stick with I forgot, like some piece of food?
Oh, in Honey and the Show. Yeah, totally.
That was,
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
s'mores
man.
cookie.
Yeah.
I agree with you completely, Alan. Yeah, I think like you mentioned before, the reasons is because of money. I think they probably realized that they couldn't really give that world, and they wanted to test this out first.
I think so.
It kind of sucks. All right, guys. Well, that's our show. That's our last topic. Thank you for joining us on this week's Everything and Nothing show. Like we said before, there's free ways to support us, which we encourage you to do, and thank everybody who has done prior to this episode and continues to do. You can go onto our Facebook page, our Twitter, our Instagram. You can follow us, like us, subscribe, comment, and follow. It's super helpful, and we like to hear from you. We want to hear what your thoughts are on the World of Warcraft trailer, the movie, and all the other topics that we discussed on this episode of the Everything and Nothing show. If you're feeling like you got a couple extra dollars, or you find yourself coming back to this consistently week to week, or just checking us out and you feel like you're getting something from it, think about what it would be like to just pay $1 for that. And you don't even have to do that consistently. You can just do it once. It's on patreon.com. You'll see the link down below on some of our episodes here. Patreon.com/Maelstrom Gamers. Just for $1, you'll get a whole nother episode just for you, and it's special. And then for a couple more bucks, you'll get stuff early, and that money goes back into this show, making our stuff better and higher quality, so that what you like can just get more of. Let's see. That's pretty much it. We all thank you for showing up.
I'm gonna play this out.
Yeah, all right, go for it. You'll have another episode of this next week. In the meantime, keep thinking about everything. Keep thinking about nothing. It's been an honor to entertain you. Peace and take care.